Once upon a time, there was a billionaire in Lagos whose mansion was full of wealth, but empty of joy. And one day, a barefoot homeless boy slipped through the gate, not to steal, not to beg, but to dance. He didn't know he was being watched. He didn't know the girl in the wheelchair hadn't laughed in months. But as he twisted, rolled, and made a fool of himself, something magical happened. She giggled. Then she laughed. And what happened next would change all their lives forever. Mr. Daniel was a man Lagos newspapers often described as the golden investor. Everything he touched turned into gold. Oil fields, real estate, tech startups. His mansion in Banana Island was a fortress of glass, marble, and security cameras. But behind the gates and armed guards, there lived a little girl whose world had grown painfully quiet. Her name was Ada. 8 years old, she once brought joy to the entire mansion. Her laughter used to echo from the marble stairs to the tall trees in the garden. She would chase butterflies, sing songs from Sunday school, and sneak extra plantain chips from the chef's kitchen. But that all ended the day Amaka, her mother, died in a car crash. That same crash left Ada unable to walk. One minute she was a happy child with dancing feet. The next she was bound to a wheelchair, her legs silent, her voice fading day by day. Her father, Mr. Daniel, tried everything. India for surgery, Germany for therapy, America for advanced treatment. He spent millions chasing doctors, procedures, prayers, even visiting prophets. But Ada's smile kept disappearing like water in a cracked bowl. Most days, Ada sat by the garden window. Not really living, not really hoping. Even the birds stopped landing on her windowsill. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, another child lived. One the world had forgotten. Timmy didn't have a window, or a bedroom, or parents. He slept wherever night caught him, under market tables, in unfinished buildings, or behind the bus stop. He wore the same pair of torn shorts every day. His shirt had one arm nearly falling off. His slippers had no backs, and his knees were always covered in bruises. But Timmy had something the world couldn't steal from him. His joy. He danced. He danced when he was hungry. He danced when drivers shouted at him to get off the road. He danced for coins, but sometimes he danced for nothing, just to feel alive. People at the bus stop called him Timmy the Breaker, because of the way he twisted and fell like he was boneless. He made faces, acted like a robot, copied dance steps he saw from music videos playing in bars. But nobody knew where he came from. Nobody cared. Until one hot afternoon, he walked past the biggest mansion he had ever seen. The gates were tall, but he noticed a tiny gap in the side hedge. Curious, he peeked in. And there she was, Ada, sitting in a wheelchair near the garden fountain, her face dull, her hands resting on her lap like folded napkins. Timmy's first thought was to walk away. But something held him there. He whispered to himself, "She looks how I feel most days. Maybe, just maybe." Without planning it, without permission, without shoes. He squeezed through the hedge and stepped into the billionaire's garden. No guard saw him. No alarms rang. He didn't speak. He just danced. He swung his arms like a clown. He crossed his eyes. He spun and dropped like he was made of rubber. He fell, caught himself mid-air, and pretended to trip again. First Ada just blinked, then a giggle, and then laugh. Started small, then grew, then exploded, like a trapped joy finally breaking free. Timmy's heart pounded. He danced harder. Ada clapped. He made silly noises, spun faster, mimicked a goat. She laughed so hard, her head tilted back and her wheelchair shook. Timmy didn't even notice the man standing at the balcony, watching everything. Mr. Daniel. He hadn't heard that sound, that laugh, in months. And in that moment, his heart didn't know whether to feel joy or fear. Timmy didn't know someone was watching him. Up on the second-floor balcony, Mr. Daniel stood frozen, his phone halfway to his ear. He had been on another business call, another negotiation about a property deal in Lekki, when he heard it. Laugh. Ada's laugh. He hadn't heard that sound in almost a year. He dropped the phone without realizing it. There in the garden was a barefoot boy dancing like a jester in front of his daughter. "Who is that?" Daniel muttered. "Where are the guards?" He was about to call security, until he saw something else. Ada was moving. Her hands clapped. Her back was straight. Her face glowed. For months, she had been nothing but a shadow of herself. But now she looked alive. Daniel's anger melted into confusion. He stepped back, hiding behind a marble pillar, unsure whether to shout or weep. Down in the garden, Timmy kept dancing, unaware that a man who could buy a whole street in Ikoyi was now hiding behind a wall, watching him. After 10 minutes, Timmy bowed dramatically and whispered, "Thank you for laughing." He turned to leave, slipping back through the hedge the way he came in. Ada stared at the empty space where he had been and whispered, "Come back tomorrow." The next afternoon he did. This time Ada was already waiting. And when Mr. Daniel looked out his window and saw the barefoot boy again, he stormed down the stairs. Timmy was in the middle of pretending to be a robot police officer when a deep voice cut through the air. "Stop!" He froze. Ada's eyes widened. Her father was standing by the garden doors, arms folded, eyes burning. Timmy instinctively stepped back. "Who let you in here?" Daniel barked. Timmy looked around, as if trying to find an escape. I wanted to make her laugh. "You climbed into my compound. Do you know where you are?" "I'm sorry, sir," Timmy said, already stepping back toward the hedge. "I'll go." Before Daniel could respond, Ada shouted, "Daddy, no. Please." She rolled forward in her wheelchair. Her cheeks were red. "He makes me happy. Please don't send him away." Daniel looked between the two of them. His daughter's pleading eyes, the boy's trembling body. "What's your name?" he asked coldly. "Timmy." "Where do you live?" Timmy hesitated. "Nowhere. Sometimes at the bus stop. Sometimes behind one shop." Daniel squinted. "And you just decided to come into my house?" Timmy nodded slowly. "I didn't come to steal. I just wanted her to laugh again." That sentence, so simple, so raw, cut through the billionaire's pride like a blade. He remembered all the doctors, all the hospitals, all the nights Ada cried without making a sound. And now this barefoot boy, without a degree, without a clinic, without shoes, had achieved what no one else could. "Okay," Daniel said slowly. "You can stay. But only in the open and under watch. You understand?" Timmy nodded so fast he almost toppled over. "Thank you, sir," he said. "I won't cause trouble." Ada clapped. "Timmy, dance." And he did. That one day turned into 3. 3 turned into a week. And every afternoon at 4 p.m., the guards, who were initially confused, were told, "Let the boy in. He leaves by 6. He eats before he goes." Each day, Timmy arrived with new tricks. He imitated bus drivers yelling at conductors. He crawled like a goat. He danced like a spinning top. And Ada, she blossomed. Her laughter returned in waves. Her arms grew stronger from clapping. She spun her wheelchair in little circles. She raised her voice when he didn't repeat her favorite jokes. She even leaned forward on some days, mimicking Timmy's steps from the waist up. Mr. Daniel watched quietly, sometimes from the balcony, sometimes from behind a window. And every evening after Timmy left, Ada would talk more. "Daddy, did you see him act like a Danfo horn today? Daddy, my toes tingled when I laughed. Daddy, can he come again tomorrow?" During a routine hospital visit, the doctor raised an eyebrow. "Her engagement is increasing. These small joys, they could trigger deeper recovery. Keep doing whatever you're doing." That night, Mr. Daniel walked the garden alone. He looked at the spot where Timmy always danced. He touched his chest and whispered, "Thank you, boy." The stars blinked above. The hedge rustled softly. And somewhere nearby, a barefoot child was probably dreaming of dance. It happened on a Tuesday. Nothing unusual about the weather. The sky was pale blue. The trees in Mr. Daniel's garden swayed lazily. The gardener was trimming hibiscus flowers while the cook argued over Gary prices with the vegetable seller. But inside the garden, something extraordinary was about to happen. Timmy was in the middle of his slow-motion robot dance, dragging one leg behind him and making beeping noises. Ada, already breathless from laughing, clapped wildly. Then she paused. "Wait," she said. Timmy froze mid-pose. "What happened? Let me try something." Ada placed her small hands firmly on the arms of her wheelchair. Her face changed, like she was about to lift something heavy. Timmy blinked. "What are you doing?" "Just watch," she whispered. She pressed down on the armrests. Her shoulders tensed. Her arms shook. Then, slowly, her body lifted. Her hips rose from the seat by an inch. And two. And more. For a second it felt like the world forgot to breathe. Timmy whispered, eyes wide. Mr. Daniel had stepped out, unnoticed, and now stood frozen near the back door. "Bree." Ada lowered herself gently back into her chair, her chest rising and falling, her face drenched in sweat and joy. "I stood," she gasped. "Timmy, I stood." Silence blanketed the garden for one holy second. Then Timmy screamed, "You did it! You did it!" He spun in circles, fell on the grass, and laughed like he had won a trophy. Mr. Daniel couldn't move. His heart pounded. His eyes blurred. He walked toward his daughter like a man walking through a dream. He knelt beside her, hands shaking, and held her face. "You're amazing," he whispered. "I am so proud of you." Ada smiled and grabbed both their hands. "Timmy helps me feel strong," she said. "When he dances, I feel like my legs remember what they used to be." The mansion that once echoed with quiet despair now exploded with emotion. The guards clapped. The cook cried. And Mr. Daniel finally believed again. That night, long after the laughter had faded, he found Timmy sitting quietly on the back steps, hugging his knees. "You shouldn't sit out here," Daniel said gently. Timmy shrugged. "I'm used to it." Mr. Daniel sat beside him. "You're not used to it anymore. This is your home now." Timmy turned slowly. "Sir, you'll eat here, sleep here, go to school. No more hiding behind kiosks. No more begging." Timmy swallowed hard. "Why, sir?" Mr. Daniel looked him straight in the eyes. "Because you gave my daughter something money, doctors, and miracles couldn't give her, hope. That makes you part of this family." Timmy's lips quivered. He tried to respond, but all he could do was nod as tears rolled down his cheeks. That night, for the first time in his life, he slept in a bed. With a full belly. And a heart full of something he never dared dream about before. Belonging. The news didn't break immediately. There were no headlines, no viral videos, no interviews. Inside the high walls of Mr. Daniel's mansion, change was happening quietly, like a sunrise no one expected. Every day Timmy danced. Every day Ada laughed. And slowly, she began to move. At first, it was little things, wiggling her toes, rotating her ankles, sitting up without support. Then came the harder steps. Standing with assistance, holding onto bars during therapy, shifting weight from one foot to the other. And every time she wobbled, Timmy was there, cheering like a coach at the World Cup. "Small step is still step. You're the champion of Banana Island. You won, walk past me now, oh." With Timmy by her side, therapy felt less like punishment and more like play. He turned every exercise into a performance. He danced through her stretches. He made up songs for every new milestone. And Ada. She pushed harder than any adult thought possible. Even the physiotherapist was stunned. "This level of progress in so little time," he said, shaking his head. "There's no medical word for it. But whatever is happening here, don't stop it." Mr. Daniel changed too. He stopped obsessing over stock reports. He took longer breakfasts, often sitting beside Ada and Timmy as they teased each other over pap and akara. He smiled more. He even laughed once, loudly, when Timmy imitated his serious business walk. One evening, Ada looked at Timmy and whispered, "I used to feel like I was in a prison." Timmy nodded. "Me too. But now," he grinned, "now I feel free." One Saturday afternoon, Ada asked for something bold. "I want to walk," she said. Timmy blinked. "You mean right now?" "Yes." Mr. Daniel was seated under the mango tree nearby. He stood quickly. "Ada, don't rush it." But she had already placed her hands on the wheelchair handles. Her legs trembled. Timmy stepped beside her. "I day your back." She took a deep breath. Whoosh. Her legs straightened. And then, with tiny shaking steps, she moved forward. One step. Then another. Timmy held her arm, guiding but not pulling. Ada's face was a blend of pain and victory. The staff gathered silently. Even the gateman left his post to peek. By the time she reached the fountain, just a few steps away, the entire compound erupted. Ears. Blap. Blap. Ada collapsed into Timmy's arms, laughing and crying at the same time. Mr. Daniel knelt and hugged them both. That evening, something shifted inside the man. He walked into his study, pulled out his tablet, and typed a single post on social media. "Today my daughter walked again. Not because of science, but because of love. Because of a boy who danced. His name is Timmy. And he is my son now." The post exploded. People across Lagos and then across Nigeria shared the story. Some cried. Some doubted. Others asked, "Who is this boy?" TV stations called. Bloggers showed up at the gate. But Mr. Daniel turned them all away. "This is not for your cameras," he told them. "This is for us." Not everyone understood. Some of his business partners were furious. "You're letting a street boy live with you. Do you know what this could do to your image? Think about your legacy, Daniel." To which he calmly replied, "My daughter is walking again. That is my legacy." Ada, bold as ever, told off anyone who questioned it. "If you don't like Timmy, you don't like me." Eventually the noise died down. And what remained was family. Timmy started school. He struggled at first, letters, numbers sitting in one place. But he tried. And every afternoon he still danced. Not just for Ada. For the staff, the guards, the neighbors who peeked over the fence. He danced because it was who he was. Because it brought joy. Because even though he had nothing before, now he had everything that mattered. Some people still find it hard to believe that a boy with nothing, no house, no shoes, no family, could give a billionaire the one thing he had lost. Hope. That a child who slept under kiosks could help a girl trapped in silence find her voice again. That a dance, just a dance, could change everything. But it did. And it wasn't just Ada who changed. It wasn't just Mr. Daniel. Timmy changed too. He went from being invisible to being seen, from being thrown away to being embraced, from sleeping in corners to sleeping in a home where someone checked if he had eaten. He never asked for any of it. He never danced to get rich. He never danced to be famous. He danced because it was the one thing he had. And in giving it freely, with joy, he gained more than he could have ever imagined. He gained a family. He gained purpose. He gained love. And Ada, she didn't just walk. She ran. Months later, she was jogging short distances in therapy. Her legs still needed care. But her soul, that one was healed. The laughter that once left the mansion had returned louder than ever. Because of one small boy. And one big heart. So maybe the lesson is this. You don't have to be rich to change someone's life. You don't need a degree to heal someone's heart. You don't need a title to give someone hope. Sometimes, all it takes is kindness. Smile. Dance. A little joy in a world that forgets to laugh. And maybe, just maybe, the ones we overlook today are the ones who will rescue us tomorrow. So, the next time you see someone with nothing but heart, don't ignore them. They just might be carrying a miracle.
Thanks for watching this story all the way to the end. You're amazing for staying with us. If you enjoyed this video, don't stop here. We've got plenty more stories just like this one waiting for you. Simply click on one of the videos popping up on your screen right now and keep the journey going. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next upload. Until next time, stay inspired, stay curious, and keep the stories alive.